system that continuously analyzes sleep patterns and adjusts responses based on the user's condition. Unlike traditional trackers, it operates as a closed-loop system, meaning it can actively respond during sleep by using gentle sensory inputs like sound, vibration, or environmental adjustments to stabilize rest and reduce disturbances. It is designed to support a full sleep cycle approach, helping with falling asleep, maintaining deep sleep, and improving morning recovery. The lightweight, pressure-free design ensures comfort for long use. This concept represents a shift toward active AI sleep systems that optimize rest in real time. Momax OneSense. Momax OneSense is presented as a next-generation AI smart ring designed to function as a lightweight wearable companion for health and lifestyle tracking. It is built with multiple sensors that continuously monitor key body metrics such as heart rate, sleep patterns, blood oxygen levels, and skin temperature. Using advanced motion and biometric tracking, it creates a detailed view of daily physical condition without requiring bulky devices. Beyond standard health data, the system applies AI-based analysis to interpret physiological signals and estimate mood trends, stress levels, and overall wellness patterns over time. Instead of showing only raw numbers, it translates data into simplified insights that reflect emotional and physical balance. The ring also supports gesture-based controls, allowing users to perform simple actions like controlling media or interacting with connected devices. Designed for continuous wear, it offers long battery life and water resistance, making it suitable for daily activities, workouts, and 24/7 health monitoring use.
This is the tiniest tech that you'll actually want to carry every day. So the goals are simple. We've had to find gadgets that cover every possible situation. Each one has to provide a high-end experience, but in the most compact way possible. If something needs charging, it charges with USB-C, because it's just easy. And everything is black or silver, because it looks stealthy AF. And they were the only colors we could get it all in. So let's start small and just keep getting smaller. Believe it or not, every single thing on this table will actually fit into this one tiny sling bag. Beginning with something that's typically pretty hard to reduce in size. Water. This pocket flask from Labo Mono is my absolute favorite right now because it holds 250 mils of drink. It doesn't leak in the slightest. And if it did, we'd have a bit of a problem right now. Thanks to this valve that needs you to bite down on it. And the more you drink, chug. The smaller it gets, folding up to literally a quarter of its original size. But smaller still is our power bank. This tiny thing here from Baseus, I think has to have the greatest size to output ratio of any compact battery. So the thing's barely bigger than an AirPods case. It delivers 45 watts of power, which is just enough to also be able to charge most thin and light laptops. Has a braided USB-C cable built in to do that, with an extra port to stick a second cable in. And it has a 10,000 milliamp hour capacity, which might not sound all that special. If you search on Amazon for the best mini power bank, you'll almost definitely find one with apparently similar specs and 1,000 glowing reviews, like this. Also, supposedly 10,000 milliamp hours. But they're kind of lying to you. And to show you what I mean, I drained 2 identical phones completely flat and then plugged them in. The left phone into our Baseus, the right one into our Amazon power bank. And both managed to get the phones to exactly 55% after 20 minutes, which is great. But while that process drained the Amazon brick all the way till 56% remaining, Baseus still had 74. That's a colossal difference, especially considering the quoted capacities are the same. So we'll bag this, and don't cheap out on your power banks, because there are differences in the quality of battery in terms of how much energy they waste, and even whether the company is quoting the rated max capacity or the typical usable capacity. But it's the charger we found that I'd say is really testing the limits of compact engineering. This thing seriously blows my mind. Because even like 2 years ago, I'd have told you this is the best 3-in-1 wireless charger. It has your phone on top, your earphones just behind that, and then watches with this little sidearm. But now, look at this. The Cooxiu X40 Turbo, which I would say is genuinely less than 1/3 of the volume, still charges all 3 things. And this is Qi 2.2 wireless charging. So 25 watts of power instead of 15. The only way something like that's possible is to just not waste a millimeter with this design. And everything we've tested from Anker and Belkin currently is still just bulkier with no extra benefit. And then to power the thing, the smallest 65-watt brick in the world from Rolling Square. Just to give you an idea of how insane that is, this is 65 watts. This is the latest 70-watt charging brick from Apple. Just like the wireless charger, this is basically the theoretical limit with current tech for how tiny you can go while still being high performance. And obviously that's with the absolutely enormous UK plug on the end of it. The US version is even tinier, although also worse for reasons that are not up for debate. And I'm pairing that with the Nomad USB-C charge key. This tiny keyring supports up to 240 watts of power and 10 gigabits per second data transfer. And the tips are magnetic, so they snap together. I don't think there is a tinier, more hassle-free way to always make sure you have full-speed USB-C with you. It's just dawning on me how many more products we have to still fit in here. Thank goodness they are getting increasingly minuscule. Like this is our towel from Matador. It's basically made of a nanofiber that can absorb a lot more than it looks like. It's actually absorbent enough that if push comes to shove, you could use this tiny thing to dry your whole body. Yes, I've tried it. No, that footage will not be making it to YouTube.
You'll behave, baby.
But just to give you an idea, this is the company's full-size towel, which also does not take up a lot of space. Really not exaggerating when I say full size. So this is 200 mils of water. We'll fold this towel up, stick it in. Let's come back to that in a bit to see how much liquid it's picked up. Now, one piece of tech that is practically impossible to miniaturize effectively is the speaker. Because as a general rule, the smaller the speaker, the less air it's going to be able to push, and therefore the less thump it's going to be able to create. But the One Vibe Go from Momax is, in my testing, the absolute best compromise. So this is the iPhone speaker, max volume. And then this is the Momax. It doesn't defy the laws of physics, but it is just small enough that you could throw it into a sling or a pocket, but just big enough that you could host a whole house party on this thing. Okay, maybe a flat party. And it still has water resistance, as well as an actually usable, realistic battery life of like 8 hours. With one extra trick, it's also a MagSafe phone stand. Things that do lots of things, good for a compact setup. While we're saving space, why don't we also just trim down the biggest pocket filler, the wallet, to its most minimal possible form with the Secrid Card Protector Plus. I showed you guys the original card protector in our last EDC video, and we've been using it every day since, because it is so thin. It stops any of your cards bending, it's RFID blocking, it has this very slick ejecting mechanism, all while still holding 5 to 6 cards. And this Plus is just an even better version of it, with an even tighter grip on your cards and a fluted design. It's very fun to play with. I'm yet to see a better wallet than this. So you can go right in the very front. Now, if you're someone who wears sunglasses on the daily, well, A, I'm very jealous of you, but also B, you've almost definitely felt the pain of your storage case tripling the space the things take up. So, this company, called LensWrapper, actually just understood that name, has made something titchier. They've decided that the important thing is to protect the lenses, so this wraps around them, and then the arms go outside. Okay, well, they were right. You obviously lose some protection, but yeah, this is a pretty solid compromise for the space that it saves you. That said, if you want to do this properly, then you can't beat the Rove foldable sunglasses. I think they look sick. I've been using a pair for years now with no durability issues, while being so thin that you could probably use them as a knife. And these things, they fold down into something that is literally half the size of even that. Difference is crazy. Only thing is, they absolutely make you pay for the privilege. This is $175, which for 15 grams of material is nuts. I feel like we always see flashlights in everyday carry gear videos, and I'm always skeptical because your phone already has one that's already enough for most situations. So the only way that, to me, a dedicated flashlight makes sense is if it's both much brighter than your phone without taking up a lot of extra space. Thankfully, this is both. So let's say it's 3 a.m. You're jolted awake by a noise. Footsteps. They're coming from nearby. Your heart is in your throat. So you reach out, you grab your Clarus E5 Ultra flashlight and edge towards the door. Oh my god, there is someone there. and they are literally just around the corner. So you bolt through the doorway, you flash your light, and find out it's your employee who ran out of his own Doritos. Phew, that's a relief. If, though, you picked up your phone instead of that flashlight, basically all you can see is an ominous silhouette, which somehow makes the whole thing even more terrifying. Whoops. Yeah, I just love this thing, because it has this spotlight mode that you've seen, but then also, flick the switch down, that's floodlight, which has a much wider vision, plus a red light used as a beacon, which is, again, extremely bright, plus a magnet to snap it onto things, plus a clip, so you can even whack it onto your bag strap like this, and light your way with the floodlight while keeping both hands free. So obviously we've already got this sling bag that we're packing all of our gadgets into, but what if you wanted to buy a few more bits while you're away? Well, that's where the Nanobag Day Pack comes in. Would you believe me if I said this was a backpack?
I think it's not a great one.
Yeah, fair enough. A backpack with 2 straps, a zipper that itself weighs only about 30 grams, but is able to carry 30 kilograms worth of weight. 30 kilograms being a lot of improvised weapons, should you hear the dreaded 3 a.m. creaking. It's also kind of surreal how it stays permanently connected to this miniature cover, so that you are always ready to just stuff it down and fold it back into itself. Time to get this bag in my bag. Now, once in a blue moon, when I do actually leave the house, the one thing I always regret not having around is some hand sanitizer. I've been waiting all video to make that joke, and I don't think it was worth it. But this is great. It's flat, so it slips very easily into front pockets. It's refillable. It smells like, I wouldn't go as far as to say cologne, but like somewhere halfway between hand sanitizer and that. But I also just find the idea of hand sanitizer so much more convenient than, you know, travel soap sheets, because they need water, which you're not always going to have. The amount of functionality we've already crammed into this sling is beyond me. Slipped that into my handbag. But the biggest issue with emergency gear, whether it's a sanitizer or a power bank, is remembering to top the thing up. And that's where I think the rolling square battery is genius. So yes, I did already show you an amazing power bank earlier, but in my experience, there are 2 kinds of power bank users. There are, well, people like me who are always on their phones, tablets, and laptops and just like the idea of keeping everything topped up. That's who the Baseus one is for. But then there's also the people who are just phone users and they want a power bank more as an emergency backup for their phone. That's who this is for. It's small enough that you can slide it onto your keys, so we're only talking 2,000 milliamp hours of juice. But that is still enough to get most modern phones from completely flat to about 25% charge. I really like how you can just snap the power bank off, revealing both a USB-C cable baked inside and a second cable that is actually both micro USB and Lightning. I am a strong advocate for USB-C everything, but this is an emergency power bank, and in an emergency, sometimes you are rescuing your friends and family who may not have the same regard for the latest technologies. But this is what makes me go from like to love. They give you a magnetic dock with the thing. This is how you charge the power bank, but the magnet is also strong enough to support your whole set of keys. So it creates this automatic system where you come home, you need to stick your keys up somewhere anyway, and then by sticking them here, you make sure that the next time you need to go somewhere, you are completely charged and ready to go again. But now we're getting into what I would call the micro realm with the AirFly 2. It's a little situational, but if you are a big plane traveler, it feels like a must. Excuse me. Oh, goodness, this is cozy. Because while the very newest planes have Bluetooth, which means your nice wireless earphones can pair directly to the screen, most planes still don't. Meaning that the only way you can listen is those wired headphones they throw out that honestly wouldn't feel too generous as part of a Happy Meal. So the idea is you plug your AirFly in, and this effectively gives the plane the Bluetooth that you need to connect the earphones you want. Actually, 2 sets of earphones, so you can watch the same movie as the person sitting next to you. Does that work for you? But let's say the content selection on this plane is just terrible, which it usually is. Here's what I'm doing right now. I'm currently on a bit of a K-drama streak, so I just finished The Glory, which is literally the second best TV show I have ever watched in my life. And so next on my list is Night Has Come. The problem is you can't watch Night Has Come on Netflix in the UK. So we need to pull up Surfshark VPN, our sponsor, change the location to South Korea, and then we can not just watch it, but also download the entire show for our plane journey, which is going to be a hell of a lot more enjoyable than watching The Meg 2 for the 7th time. Not to mention that even if not for the plane journey, you'll probably want a VPN anyway for security on the horrific public Wi-Fi at the airport, and to be able to have seamless internet while you're away as if you never left home. And if you go to surfshark.com/boss, you can get it for $2 a month with 4 extra months for free for as many people as you want. Your other option, of course, would be to play a game. And I think the Atom controller is a very interesting proposition for that. Because this can connect to your phone, it can connect to your PC, but the most important one, because there's no alternative if you don't have a controller, a Nintendo Switch, or Switch 2. Can I have what you're having? Is it drinkable?
Yeah, it's fizzy lemon.
Okay. This isn't just like water with loads of food colouring in it. It's obviously a little too small to properly wrap your hands around, but Trisha, my wife, loves it. It's that too much. It's the fruity pink cocktail. And I think it really comes into its own when you're planning on playing 4 to 8 player multiplayer on the go. Because, I mean, a bag of these is a lot more portable than a bag of these, or even Joy-Cons. Okay, let's stow these away into the carry-on. There you go. There you go. Thank you very much. We can't have an everyday carry without a multi-tool. I mean, how else am I gonna aggressively offer to fix someone's loose cabinet hinge at a house party? And for this setup, all roads have led me to the Leatherman Micra. Part of it is just the fact that this doesn't overlap as much with the other things we're already packing. Like, this is Victorinox's mini multi-tool, for example. Best parts of this are a flashlight, which we already have a better one of, and a pen, which I'm about to show you a better one of. Plus, I find some of these tools so fiddly. Like, what am I meant to cut with this? Whereas the Leatherman to me feels as small as you can go without feeling like a Christmas cracker toy. It's got a bottle opener, unboxing knife, 3 different types of screwdriver, even a 12cm ruler. But what if you need to measure more than 12 centimeters? This is the Midori XS tape measure. I never really thought of myself as someone who would carry a tape measure wherever I go, but this thing's so tiny that you kind of might as well. It's really satisfying to pull out. It comes in so easily, and it can measure up to 1.5 meters. You can buy fancier and more expensive tapes like this one, made of titanium, but in my experience, the mechanism here isn't actually as reliable as the Midori. It gets caught every now and again. I love it when the cheap option is actually the better option. But what's probably more handy than always being ready to find out the exact centimeter length of what you see on the go is a little carrying case. Now that I've reached the wise age of 30, I take a couple of supplements. You know, for the wisdom. And this case by Curved is so good for a few pills or gum or coins, or they even sell earplugs specifically made to fit nicely. It's easy to open and close, it's waterproof, and it comes with this sleeve that lets you, in the lowest hassle way possible, clip it onto things. AirTags have just been upgraded for the first time ever, so you can now precision find them from 50% further away, and the speakers on them for location are like 50% louder too. So let's say I was incredibly dense and I lost it there. Oh yeah. I feel like you could hear that probably at least a floor above, maybe 2. Considering that the AirTag 1s were already the most reliable trackers in my testing, this feels like a bit of a no-brainer. The only thing I'm adding to that, which can be very useful, is a fabric sticker. It just keeps your AirTag in its own designated place that's near the edge of your bag, so it's got the best chance of being picked up. But you are not ready for the most insane price to size ratio of any product in this video, but also the most insane performance to size ratio. This is ShiftCam's Creator SSD. How much storage do you think this adds to your phone? Considering that this is Samsung's latest SSD and this is 2 terabytes. 2 terabytes. This has as much storage as this. And while it isn't as fast, it's still fast enough that you can use this to record ProRes footage directly from your iPhone, which looks a lot better than this normal footage and is about the most demanding thing that most people would want from their phones. Is it cheap? Hell no. But is it an incredible product if you do splash out? Yes. It's shockproof, splashproof, dustproof, and they even give you this little extender so it still fits nicely while you've got a case on. And we can actually close the front pocket. It's happening. And now, from read and write to Sorry. And it is the tiniest pen that I could actually see myself using. I'm not normally too fussed about materials, but this being made of titanium is kind of the reason that it's strong enough for you to transform it like this, doubling the thing's length, but still without it feeling like I'm one misplaced apostrophe from snapping the thing in half. Very smooth writing experience too. Although I have no idea why it needed to be so spiky on the end. It takes up like negative space. But perhaps nothing embodies this video better than the Casio Ring Watch. This is literally like someone took a normal, classy, high-end Casio watch and hit it with a shrink ray. The watch module is designed to be approximately a replica at 1/10 of the scale. And it's just so sick that all the watch functions, stopwatch, alarm, LED backlight, dual time, they're all here, just miniaturized. And to make this on a scale like this, it does actually require a lot of cutting edge manufacturing.
What's the time?
It is 11:01. Honestly, this is like very readable. Kind of wish Apple did one of these. I can't tell if I look unconventional or like a donut. Would you find it cool if someone's checking their ring watch in front of you?
Yeah.
You would? Okay, well, there you go. I can't actually tell if this is designed to be a joke product or not, but I respect the hell out of the ambition and execution. So, what's underneath this towel? Okay, towel is still wet. Oh my goodness, look at that. It has taken all the water. It's really impressive for something that's the thickness of like a kitchen towel. Only question now then, does this bag close? Have we done it? Or do we need to start the video from scratch? 3, 2, 1. Look at that. I'm so proud of this, honestly. Okay,
In a forest outside Seattle, Washington, a naked teenage boy wakes up to find himself covered in slime and curiously takes in his vast environment. Moments later, the boy notices a rattlesnake approaching to bite him, calmly catches it mid-strike and sends it on its way. New to his surroundings, the boy gets up and starts walking around the forest until he hears a noise. Believing he has finally found a companion, the boy follows the sound to a tent, peeks inside, but is met by the shocked scream of a teenage couple and retreats. The boy then continues.
ആരാടാ ഈ ജോസഫ്?
ഞാൻ തന്നെ.